PicksWise is the #1 home of free sports betting picks, props, and parlays. Helmed by a team of trend-watching, data-devouring sports fanatics giving you the who, how, and why behind every prediction. For every game, every day, and every sport, all for free, visit PicksWise.com to make your next bet better. PicksWise backs responsible gambling. If you or someone you know wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coach Unplugged. We're so excited you decided to join us. Before we jump in today, go down, leave a review in iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. We do love those and they help a ton. They do. That's a free way of kind of helping us out. Another way of helping us out is to help our sponsors. So first of all, Dr. Dish, if you're thinking of getting a team that wants to shoot the ball better and consistently put that round ball into that cylinder, check out Dr. Dish. Mention Coach Unplugged, they'll give you $350 off. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. If you're looking for a one-stop shop, if you're looking to become a better basketball coach, if you're looking for a mentor, if you're looking to talk to me on a regular basis, right, James? Then you can become a teachhoops.com member, and I'll put you on the bat phone and we'll take care of your specific needs. So come over and check us out at teachhoops.com. Let's head off to the podcast. First of all, soccer players can be my soccer players can be more beat up than the football players in a lot of respect. If football players get hurt, it's usually bad. Like it's bad, like they broke a leg or something, or but it's the soccer players that have the nagging injuries. But anyway, it takes me 2 to 3 weeks, and I plan this out 2 to 3 weeks to get football and like some of the bad habits from summer out of their system.
Right. And then I tell them every year, they know it's just the same. We're going to copy Loyola of Chicago, Coach Porter. We're going to put up a culture wall leading into our dressing room.
Okay.
I'm probably going to put this up. But we always say if we're not improving in mid-January, we know where we're supposed to be in mid-January. It's not going to be a good year. And this year, the kids, they knew it with fighting COVID and everything. And, we were only letting 4 in the dressing room at a time, and we were spaced out on the bench like the NBA and everything, but they handled it well. We were getting better, and, we just hit a bad 1 or 2 games there at the end of the season. So that's my thing. Probably the best coaching job I've ever done was with a team that was very not talented at all. I was most satisfied.
I tell my people, so I've had 1 losing season in my coaching career, but my best coaching, and I've won numerous state titles. My best coaching ever, we were 12-10. Swear to God. It was my second or third season. We were 12-10. There is no way, but we kept getting better. Like the second round, we beat some people we shouldn't have. And it's like 12-10. We were like, there were a couple of good dentists on that team, but they couldn't hoop at all. Like,
well, you bring that up because the year we went to the state tournament, school's only been to the state tournament twice in the history of the school. The year we went, 2005 or 4, somewhere in there. That was the longest year because we were 1 game short the year before we got beat into the game that would have got us to Murfreesboro for the state tournament. So I'm thinking the whole next year, boys, I can't screw it up this time. We got to get there.
Right. I know. It's all, yeah, I know. There was the year we lost, like, I think it was my 09 one, like in 08, we lost in state finals and blah, blah, blah. And my best player who was coming back guaranteed that we were going to win it the next year in the press conference at the state tournament. It was like one of the, and we did, bless him. But it was one of those years, the whole year was stressful. It was like, are we getting better? Are we working on stuff? It's like, yeah, it's crazy. If you could pick one topic, if I only told you to talk about one topic, what would you talk about in relation to basketball and why?
Practice.
Okay. And why?
I love practice because I always tell the kids, games are yours. I said, if I've not done my job in practice, I mean, it's going to show up in the games. I said, that's like the test. You know, we've done our classwork at practice and, you know, and then the games, that's our test. I said, hey, boys, sometimes we run into people, they got better players than us. Just happens. I mean, well, you've done everything I asked. We've done the best we can, but, you know, the town next to us, Harriman, about 3 years ago, they won the state title, and we played well against them, but we weren't going to beat them. I mean, you know, unless we.
It's one of those things. Like what I tell the young coaches I mentor is like, here's what I want to do. I want to put them and give them the opportunity to compete and possibly beat them. I can just give them. I can't play it anymore. I haven't hit a jump shot in 30 years, but I can help them and get them ready for that thing. You know, like Nigeria beating the US in basketball in the Olympics. They could play that game 1,000 times and they probably win 3 times.
Right.
You know, but they beat them that one time. It's like things happen too. You know, it's just it's that circumstance behind it that's just like, oh my gosh. How do you take losses? Do you take them easier or harder than when you were younger?
I'm great with them. I go to McDonald's, get a Big Mac, go home and open a Diet Coke to justify the Big Mac. And yeah, I'm a whole lot better. We had a son, and all the players, even the ones that are my assistant coaches, they said the best thing that has ever happened to Rockwood basketball is you having a son, because you have mellowed from those days. Because before we had a son, we played this school, and I'm not disparaging them. It's Tennessee School for the Deaf, because they're in our district, and they're just not very good. They can't help it. One year they did have some good players, but most years they're not going to. And we got out. You know, that's one of them games we usually beat them by about 50, and that's on a bad night. And one night we were just out there gigging around, you know, nobody was taking serious. And it's a district game for us, you know, and I couldn't get that through their heads.
Right.
So after the game, we won. I mean, big, but we ran everybody out of the gym. We stayed in our uniforms. I made the ones that didn't dress out go get dressed. We did conditioning for a little while after the game. Everybody in the town thought I was psycho because we had just beat Tennessee School for the Deaf by 50. But yeah, nowadays I would just say it's a win, boys. Let's go to the house. We didn't play well. We'll get it corrected tomorrow.
Yep. Like my post-game speeches have gotten very short because they don't hear you. They don't hear you. Like they don't. It's like it's better the next day. It's so much better. You shouldn't even do a post-game talk.
No, we take up cell phones. We put them in a bag and lock them up. So they don't. When they walk in the gym on game night, they come to our assistant coach. He takes them and locks them up. So they got to communicate verbally. The only thing they're worried about after the game is who's going to get the bags to get the cell phones.
Right. So they can talk to people.
That's like they raise their hand, coach. Cell phones. I know. So
I know. I need my phone. I know. I love that idea. All right. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you kind of my rapid fire. So rapid fire is just some are quick questions, some are not quick questions. I call them rapid because some people can answer them really fast. What's your favorite brand of basketball? The actual ball.
Wilson Solution.
Okay. Why?
Because it holds that tackiness forever. I mean, we got balls on there. It's 2 years old. They're still tacky.
Okay. One word to describe your ideal player.
Loyal.
If you go to one sporting event in the entire world, what would you go to and why?
Super Bowl with the Bengals in it.
Oh, good luck.
They've been twice.
Good luck. Hey, I'm a Cubs fan, so I can make fun of other people. It was 100+ years. Favorite pregame and postgame meal? You told us the postgame meal, kind of.
I don't eat before games. I never eat before a game. It's always after the game. Okay. No pregame meal.
No pregame meal. What does your game day look like at home? Like you're playing at home. What does your game day look like?
What's my game day look like? Well,
so walk us through your day of a game.
Well, I've actually, because I've been here so long, they take care of me. I've got a great schedule because I only teach in the mornings.
I can't get over that. Okay.
I teach in the mornings. I have lunch duty, and then I have third planning block. We're on block system. I have a planning period. Fourth period block, I have my basketball players for weightlifting and conditioning. We can't practice during that time. It's against our school board's rules, but we can weight lift and condition. So I have my players last block. So after lunch, I set up the gym because I'm free the whole afternoon, and the players will come in and help me the last block. What I haven't done, it doesn't take long at all. Set it up. We will have a walkthrough right as soon as the bell rings. We'll walk through the opponent's offense, the main 2 or 3 things they're going to do. They're out of bounds. And then we'll go through our stuff. We got it scripted. Our kids know we're going through our stuff like a football team would. We're usually, if we start at 3:30, we're probably out of there by 4:05, 4:10. I'll go home. I live about 5 minutes from home. I'll just change clothes. Don't wear nothing but khaki pants and a pullover and come back. We usually have a JV game at 5 o'clock, and I'll just sit. I don't even coach. I just sit on the bench, watch our assistants watch them. So that's my game day.
Okay.
Girls game at 6:30 and then boys game at 8.
And what time do your boys have to come back what time do you make them come back?
I'll be back in the school building, our gym, by 6:30. They usually come back and watch the B team. We got a good group of kids. They come and cheer them on. They're usually there before I get back. Some of them, they'll stay and shoot. They want to go home, and now they watch the girls. They'll go in the dressing room. Of course, this year we couldn't because of COVID. They'll go in there and watch TV. Right. They know they got to be dressed by the start of the fourth quarter. They're usually dressed after the B team game. I'll go in and talk before fourth quarter of the girls game. It's probably about 2 minutes because they don't listen to me there either. And then I let our assistants do the warm up. I go out there on the floor, make sure we're not gigging around. But
no team can afford to overpay for talent. Build a championship team with Indeed, the smart way to only pay for quality candidates that meet your must-have requirements. When hiring gets hard, you need Indeed, the job site that makes hiring incredibly simple. Just attract, interview, and hire. In fact, with Indeed, you can do all of your hiring in just one place. Indeed knows how important it is to make the most of your recruiting hours and dollars. And with Indeed, you can save time and money by setting your must-have qualifications and only pay for the quality candidates that meet them. Get started right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/BlueWire. Get a $75 credit at Indeed.com/BlueWire. Indeed.com/BlueWire. Offer valid through September 30th. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah. I'm just keeping a watchful eye is usually what I do.
Yes.
What's one thing you do to relax?
One thing I do to relax. I like to read. I like to read books. Anything John Feinstein I read. It could be about a tic-tac game, tic-tac-toe, whatever, chess game, I'd read it.
Right.
Read, and any kind of sporting event on TV, I'll come home and I'll turn on a basketball game.
Okay. Do you have any superstitions?
Any superstitions? Yeah, I don't eat before games. I always wear the same pullover. I always wear khaki pants. Our practices, and it's really stupid. We always do the rebounding drill. We do drills on certain ends of the floor, and this assistant that's been with me for the last 40 years, she said, "Why do you always do it on that end?" I said, "I don't know. I like that end of the floor." Yeah. We do play basketball on this end. Can we not do it on that end one day?
I know. I get in the habit of doing that too. It's like I got to force myself. What's one coaching technique you consider important?
I've gotten better at it. I think you got to correct mistakes when they happen, but I've gotten better at it. I think I talked too much. I was talking too much during practice and not letting them go on. I mean,
right. All the studies show that only way you learn is by making mistakes. Mistakes are good. You got to correct them, but they have to learn that if I keep doing this, I keep doing this, I keep doing this, I keep doing this, it's not going to work. If I keep touching the hot stove, eventually you're going to figure out not to touch the hot stove.
Yeah, and I figured out now that if I just go ahead, let's finish the drill or the play or whatever we're doing, and then I'll sub somebody, hey, this is what you did wrong.
Yeah, I think I think for you and I, it's a generational thing too, a little bit. Like, yeah, I think the self-learning is better for this generation. Describe your perfect player in 5 words or less. This is always a hard one for people.
Good teammate.
What?
Good teammate.
Okay. That is best player of all time.
In the history of basketball or at our school?
Either one, I guess.
In the history of basketball, well, I'm a Michael Jordan guy.
Hard to argue with Michael. Hard to argue.
Yeah, but then I get to thinking, I heard somebody talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I grew up with him. You know,
it's hard to argue against Bill Russell too. He won 10. He won 10. And you got Bob Cousy. You got,
Yeah, but our son's named after Michael Jordan, so I'll have to stick with Jordan.
The thing with Michael, here's the funny part about Michael, is Michael was big 20 years ago, and kids are still talking about it. That's the crazy part about Michael. Like, it's a shoe.
Shoes still. You're big.
It is. If you could only teach one skill, what would that skill be?
Well, in my 40-something years of coaching, it's changed. I've come to the conclusion I can teach anybody to play defense. Because I tell our kids, hey, people, there's only 3 places you can be in our defense. You're either on the ball, you're denying, or you're help side. That's the only 3 places you can be in our man-to-man. You can't be anywhere else. Get to one of those spots. I can teach a monkey to play defense, I feel like. I think we're good enough. Our drills are good enough, and we stay on it good enough. But if I could really teach something, I'd really like to be able to teach shooting correctly.
Okay.
Because that's what the game's all about.
It is. You got to be able to put the ball in the hole. Doesn't matter. Shot clock, yes or no?
No.
I agree. You're one of the few people that agrees with me. And
we play slow anyway. We were a 4-out, 1-in team, and we like to, because the way we play defense and everything, I feel like we use a lot of
I just don't see I think what makes high school basketball unique is the lack of shot clock. Like, everybody can play their own style. You could be a pack line. I could be a Grinnell system guy. You could be a 2-2-1 guy. I could be. The thing is, if we put a shot clock in, it's all going to look like all the college games. It's all going to look the same. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, and the big thing for us would be, I'd find somebody eventually. It's hard enough to get a loyal person that'll run the clock for you, a game clock, because they don't want that pressure.
Right.
And I don't even know when to reset the shot clock.
The list is pretty long. If you could change one thing about the game, what would you change?
I'd put in that half circle in the lane for charges, because we are a big charge team. And we work on it every day or every other day. And I just think that would help officials.
I won't ask that question. That's like 3 questions down. Charge circle, yes or no? You're a yes. I would get rid of the jump ball.
Yeah, it's useless.
Useless. And you know why? They can't throw it.
No, yeah.
They don't practice. They do it once a game, maybe.
Useless. Just give it to the visitor and let's crank it up.
And you know what? You know what that would do? It would make this really cool chess match. Because let's say I'm coming to your place. I'm taking the ball out. You would know I'm taking the ball out to start the game. You could do something to me. or I could have a set ready, or I think that the chess match of the coaching would be great with that. I think.
Hey, you probably remember this. I know you do because you're old like I am. How old are you?
I am 54.
Oh, I'm older than you. I'm 62. I'll be 63 in November. Okay. But you remember this, you could pick the end of the floor that you wanted to shoot on before the game. Now you got to go opposite your bench.
Right.
We were notorious. People still talk about this in our community. We would always line up on the opposite end of the end we were supposed to be going to.
Yeah.
And everybody would go down there with us, and we throw it to our point guard racing the other way for the layup. We call it dummy.
I love that. I've done that in a varsity game in our state and scored.
Well, we did it all the time, and we were playing our closest rival one year, Harriman, who's 10 minutes from us. And one of their smart players, he said, they're running it again, get down here. They didn't believe him. We still scored.
I believe that. Best game you've seen in person?
Tennessee beat Kansas here in Knoxville when Coach Pearl lost. He had about 3 or 4 kids get arrested the day before, 2 days before he had to suspend them, and they beat Kansas here.
That's crazy. Quarters or halves?
Oh, quarters.
We play halves. It's interesting. We play 2 18-minute halves.
I like quarters.
Yeah, quarters. I like quarters too because I want to be able to teach between the breaks. But anyway, what's one thing you tell your younger self?
Quit cursing.
One word to describe your coaching style.
Planned.
Okay.
Well thought of. I don't know.
Planned. Yeah, you're planned out. Best coach of all time.
It'd be 1 or 2. I'm gonna go with Coach K.
Okay. One book you'd recommend.
One book I'd recommend. Anything John Feinstein writes. Yep. But I wrote that in that questionnaire that whoever said Pat Summitt's book, the very first Pat Summitt book.
Yeah, that's a good book too. Yeah. That's on my list. All right. So my last question I always ask is, what would you tell a younger coach? What would be your bit of advice to them that are listening to this, that are just starting out in this journey?
Well, I said it earlier, don't be afraid to go and talk to the coaches that you respect, or go watch the practices. I'd go watch practices. I would talk to coaches I would respect. Don't be afraid to fail. You're going to probably fail more times than you're going to be successful. I mean, the world's not going to end because
I know
it's a game, and
that's what I would tell. If I could have a time machine, I'd go back to my 30s. I'd go. There were losses that I would literally it would crush me, and it was like, come on, it's okay, you'll learn from this. Yeah,
and I just you're probably the same way I am. The best thing that I love about this job is, one thing I've got out of my 6 assistant coaches, 5 are former players. I get to see them every day during basketball season. Yep. And then the number of players that come back and see me and just sit around, and we just sit around talking. That, to me, that's more important. Like, I went to a wedding of one of my players here earlier in the summer. That's more important to me than going to a game. I'm winning the game or something.
Right. It's the impact.
I'd rather see them become successful what they're doing. And if I've had a small part in that, that's a win.
If I've been able to teach them a small life lesson, it's definitely a win. Well, Paul, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate this. And I'll let you know when it goes up. Thank you.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to support us, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Also, subscribe and like. We do appreciate those. Have a great day.